he said no, but
Alrighty. Oh, where did Rogue go? Oh, there he is.
Jim turns on the lights, I turn off.
Okay, well, we're definitely live.
One of us
so-
is uglier.
One of us is a professional.
That was such a good timing. I don't even know what just happened, but I love it. I love it. Alrighty. Welcome, everybody, to another Splinter Talk podcast show. We have the crew. We got the boys back in town. The band is getting together. We have an excellent show again with here today. We have Rogue, of course. We have Jim, and we have Steve. And Rogue, I don't know. Did you ever find out? Did you go back through who's on the leaderboard?
Yeah,
Who's
hold
leading
on.
it? Okay,
So
you got the stats.
I had a real official document, so like
It's
you
not
can
me.
see my like I was keeping tally on the
Hashtag
inside.
sponsored.
Yeah, so absolutely official here. So all right. So here's fun fact number one. He didn't start numbering these till 5. Like
didn't?
4 and 3 don't have numbers, and I don't think a 1 and 2 exist.
They
honestly.
do. The first one was just Steve.
Okay, all right, well, let me put one more for Steve. 'Cause-
I think Steve's winning right now. I'm
oh,
fairly
100%. So Steve's at 8. So like, if this is episode 12, he's 8 of 12. Like that's
Dang.
basically
certain.
his,
Steve, just
show.
get out of here, man.
His show. Like,
just remember I play softball on Thursday, so I got him to move the date just so I could be here.
Right.
nice. So Jim's at 4. So this being your 4th, I believe. I'm
I
at
thought it was at 4
6.
previously, but okay.
I'm at 6. Well,
Jim,
that's
you
what.
might have been on the second one, so I
Unless,
think
yeah,
you're at
unless
5.
you were on, I'll give you one more. How about that? You're the only one that doesn't have one of the beep side dashes in it. So there you go. I'll put one in there for you. So yeah, Jim's at 5. I'm at 6, and Steve is at 8
Yeah.
now of
Dang.
12. 2 of which they're not even on your playlist. I was like, oh cool, he's got these pulled out for the Splinter Talk playlist,
Well,
and it
It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You should just check
1
it there.
and 2 are
Should
like
we?
archived
We should
somewhere.
also keep a tally of how many of us have been on Dwayne's too, right? We should
Oh
keep
my
a
I
tally.
think you're winning that, Jim. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
like,
even
I
a
think-
contest.
Every Friday night. Is that
Yeah.
how that's going?
Yeah,
I have not. I have
speaking of
not
that, I
been
might have to go
officially
early today.
invited yet.
Jim on
Oh, it
60,
is
everyone
Friday.
else 0. I think that's why you want that one tallied, huh? Well, we got lots to talk about. So this one, usually they're long, but this one's, I'm assuming, going to go real long as well because lots of good things to talk about and lots of good news. I feel like for the first time, we can come here with positive vibes. I'm guessing most everyone that I've seen has had a lot of positive feedback besides, the stragglers who are like, it's still a rug pull somehow. I don't know why it's a rug pull, but it's still a rug pull, I guess, to some people. But before we jump into all the rewards, the different things going on, hyped about Splinter Fest. Who is going? I want to know from you guys and the chat. Who's going? Who's got the plans? Is that everyone?
I think I'm going.
Yeah, 100%.
Bad
Yeah,
news.
I'll be
Dwayne's
there.
not
I've already
going.
worked it out so that I could go, and so it should be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see how many people show up, how many people might know who we are.
Yeah. Is it just going to be a room full of us content creators like no one else
Oh, yeah,
goes?
dude.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing, though. We're going to walk away with something like super special, though. They're going to be like,
Oh, I
hey,
assume so.
hey, thanks for coming. And then like 2 years from now, we're going to be like, you guys remember? You remember?
I've been
Yeah,
going there
serious.
since it first happened.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
haven't
because
been
like,
any...
this is the first, right? This will
Yeah,
be
this will be the first one.
Yeah, and I haven't been to any like video game conference at all since
No.
pre-COVID, like PAX 2019, 2018. So it's been a few years. It'll be fun going back to a live event. And I know they put out that feedback post of like, hey, what do you want to see at Splinterfest? So I don't know if you guys took the time to do that, but if not, what do you guys want to see there? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts.
There was no details. It was 3 questions. It was like, do you want to see panels? Do you want a tournament? Okay, thanks.
Do you want fun?
And what's your
Yeah, are
name?
you going?
Like, that
Do
was
you
it.
want panels? Do you want a tournament? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting, right? Because unlike most teams, we hear from this team all the time. We get to the point where sometimes you're like, oh my God, they're just the same thing over and over every once in a while. So I don't know if they can save any big announcements from there. It'd be cool if they had maybe like a first look at land or a first look at the land economy. Panels would be kind of interesting. I had suggested in one of my videos, a panel of us would be kind of fun. The different content creators, and we could
just
talk about why we
us.
make stuff. I was opening it up to a few more, but no, the board. If the board game was there, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
that
That's
would be
what I
cool.
said.
No, I honestly, I
playtest
think
of their RPG.
That might be
I
a
think-
little soon.
I think it needs to be very heavily focused on their tournament. Like I think this is the time to show off like whatever system they have set up, because I mean they've hinted at a lot of things of like, what would you do if you play, like what if we could let you play in locals? It's like, okay, how do you do that? You know, like these are the kind of things they have to have something in place, like the game system aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like these are all things that they've hinted at, and so in order for them to do a tournament in this stadium specifically, like they picked an esports stadium for this. So like the fact that panels was the first question was like, no, man, we're playing Splinterlands. Like we're going here to play Splinterlands. So like for me, my big hope, my big hope is in the trading card world. When you travel for big tournaments, you get promo cards.
Yes.
And these promo cards are exclusive to this. They are only given out to participants of the tournament and people that host and do stuff in the tournament. And guess what? Winners of these tournaments also get promo cards. And guess what? They're usually foiled. So like imagine a world where we have a promo exclusive for Splinterfest, and then top 16 gets the gold version of that promo.
That's slick.
You better get that plane ticket. Like, bro. But this is dead serious. Like and it sucks. I've almost hyped myself up so much on that concept that I will be disappointed if there isn't a promo card at Splinterfest, because like it's almost just so much common sense.
So
You know what I mean?
Actual playable promo card in the game.
100. Well, it's how
I-
every other game does it. Every other game has promos.
I agree. What you're saying is cool. I also struggle with a little bit of the reality that this is such a global game that it's like, okay, how many of those top level players from Japan are realistically going to be able to come all the way to Vegas or Australia or XYZ?
No,
that's a big
this
long
one.
trip.
That's this one, but like, what happens when this global game starts to have nationals in multiple places, right? It doesn't have to be exclusively to us, but this is where you set the bar. This is where you say, if you want to play this game in person, this is what we'll do for you. You know what I mean? These are the rewards. These are the stakes, for coming out in person, because I absolutely see the day where there will be a Japanese nationals, where there will be a Philippine nationals, all building up to the world's tournament, which will then be in Vegas.
Which will then be Rogue versus Ue.
Dude, I hope one day. I really
I
do.
feel like the world championship would be probably for people in champion.
Oh,
Ouch.
bro.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
you
see.
guys got to
From
work
the
on
man
the
that
map.
doesn't even
level of
play.
play.
Jeez.
I definitely want to see the tournaments. I also think it'd be fun to do just some more like fun, casual ones to view. Like I'm picturing like either you can challenge a staff member or maybe just a staff tournament that we can observe. Like I think it'd be hilarious to see like Nate go up against Matt and Aggroed or Weirdbeard, name it. I think that would be pretty fun to watch.
If they do tournaments, would you hope that they were revealing like the ghost card tournament system where you could set up tournaments where we all got the same cards to play with?
100. Well, that's how I imagine. Like I talked about it last time when I was on this channel. Is like we talked about specifically what I feel like the tournament should look like, because in no way, shape, or form should any of us be bringing our laptops and our wallets and our crypto keys to a public Wi-Fi space. You know what I mean? Like no. And then like you get into, all right, well, what if you just snapshot the account? Well, then I could just go rent everything for a day. You snapshot and then boom, ghost tournament, whatever. You know what I mean? So like, in my opinion, you would qualify for these types of tournaments. And then the in-person tournaments are like all available cards,
That'd be interesting, for sure. There's only been one attempt a long time ago. Neil tried to do a thing where he made 8 identical accounts and let people play them against each other, but it was too much to manage. So then he stopped doing it.
Yeah. I mean, the real question is, who you guys going to cosplay as?
See, this is literally, I knew this. I knew
Hardcore
this.
mercenary?
Your mercenary is
yet.
top notch. It's good looking.
I don't know, that new white legendary summoner. I don't know. He looks pretty dope.
Hippo?
Probably do
Oh,
like
no,
a,
the
No,
summoner.
the new
I
one.
think of the legendary, yeah.
oh yeah, I'll be General Sloan. I got you, baby.
No, the vampire. The
Just
vampire.
You know, General
Ah.
Sloan is female, apparently.
I mean, when you're a hippo, you're a hippo. I don't know how much like how
You
much.
can pull it off. I'm just saying, Rogue. You can pull it off.
Thanks.
You got the features. All right. Anything else you guys are excited for about Splinterfest? Anything else you want to see there?
I
I'm
just,
just
I
excited to see my bosses, you know?
Mhm.
Or I guess most of our bosses here. Soon to be
No.
Steve's boss.
Yeah, are you talking about the stream team? or is like aggro your
I think,
real life
yeah, I
boss
think
somehow?
it'd be cool to meet a lot of
They're
the team
technically our
members and
bosses.
see them in person. You know, I think
Yeah.
having events like this and them coming out in public helps you. Like, it's not a rug pull. You get to meet the people, and it'll be fun to see if we can build up some hype and some excitement for sure.
Yeah, I think
mean,
there'll
as-
be like the networking is going to be real big in my mind. Like,
Also, one thing that I'll be interested in is who else, as far as projects, might show up. Who will have maybe some representatives there? Could Gala Music be there? Could we have some surprise musical performance of some? I mean,
oh yeah,
no, it's the
Warren.
Warner Music.
Warner.
Sorry,
Right.
Warner
Yeah.
Music.
Well,
Ed
and as
Sheeran
far as I
shows
know, this is the only play to earn blockchain game that's ever done a festival. Like, this will be the first, unless someone else is aware of something I'm not of. And so, yeah, it could be not just people who are interested in Splinterlands, but they could maybe pull an audience outside of that to, hey, you're in the play to earn space, come check out our game and the festival. And I could see them, Steve, inviting other games like, hey, come to our conference, you can pitch your game to our players, and like, I
Yeah.
don't know, we can make connections there as well. I think that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
I hope
They
there's
better
going to be
have.
an opportunity for some of us to kind of like work at this as well, because like I know that like when I did kind of like expos like this for Force of Will, you could get a hold of the company and be like, yeah, I'll be at that event and everything, and you can help run demos, you can help be like, you know, that face and everything, because this is, I think there is going to be maybe a little bit of like a, I don't know, there could be like an aspect of like outreach and advertising that will end up kind of happening with this. So you'll kind of need like that front face aspect. Like there's going to be like the competitive tournament side, but there also has got to be like the, hey, welcome to the game side, you know, and all of this stuff. Cause you know, I imagine players are going to be bringing like families and stuff on those lines. So like, I don't know if there's a chance like my wife ends up being there, like that could be an opportunity for her to try the game for the very first time. You know, so I'm kind of hoping there's stuff like that too, like little setups or something for try it out, do things. And again, like little promo giveaways can be done with that too. You know, it's like, thanks for learning the game here, scan this QR code, get a card or whatever. There's a lot that they can do in person, a lot that they can do that just rewards people for showing up. You know,
Yep. As long as you have enough vouchers.
hey, if I can redeem vouchers for a plane ticket to Vegas, let's go. The
mean, we
non-card
kinda can.
market. Let's go.
Really non-card market. Wow, that's out there.
Plane
I can see like
tickets
a
to Vegas.
Yeah,
VIP
already,
pass
though.
maybe.
So,
But
you know, you just got to sell them all and then put it into your bank account and then buy the ticket.
No. I
Awesome.
want specific partnerships, like with Allegiant Air. Like, let's go.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they should have
All
their
right,
own
well-
private jet.
there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Splinterfest, we're hyped for it. I hope you guys can be there. It'd be fun to, honestly, the thing I'd be looking forward to most is just hanging out and get to know the community in person. I think that'd be really cool to be able to have that opportunity. But let's move on to the next topic. They pumped out quicker than everyone thought packs being able to be bought in DEC now to stabilize the price, especially after last week we saw DEC and that huge hit to the whole crypto market. DEC actually dipped down below peg. I think it's back up again, but Does this change any strategies for you guys moving forward now that it's here sooner rather than what they initially said of, hey, it's probably going to happen after the airdrop where you'll be able to buy packs? Instead, it's, hey, right now, 4,000 DC for a pack.
No, I'm actually disappointed it came out this soon. You know what I mean? Like, we were going low, and I was like, yeah, let's go, baby. And then Matt came out, and he was like, no, we're doing this. And it was like, boop, back to peg. And I'm like, oh, no. Because I knew it was going to happen. It was just a patience game.
Points again. Even though you're just better off buying the SPS.
I'm glad that they did it because it should help us get a little bit more of a tick up in pack sales as people can start to say like, oh, I've got 8,000 DEC, I'll just get 2 packs. And we do need to see pack sale momentum start to pick up again a little bit. And this will definitely help for sure, especially because there's going to be people who are sitting on a large amount of DEC. And I feel like it did need to happen before the airdrop ends, because what if you were sitting on a lot just to get as much SPS as you could, and now you're sitting there and you're holding it and you're like, what do I do with it? Do I sell it all and dump the price, or do I turn half of it in for packs? Because I can do that, like, especially if you have a large amount, you can do that with no slippage into packs, and you don't have to go out into the marketplace to get out of it, because there are some probably relatively big accounts that pretty soon will have no reason to be holding that DEC anymore, and this gives them a funnel for them to get out of it and into something else. So I think it was the right move.
Couldn't they just convert the DEC to credits anyway, and it doesn't affect the market change?
But that's only if they want. That's only if they want credits, though.
No, I think they took that away, anyways. I thought that was part of the update. Yeah, you can't do it anymore because the essential point that they're making is that DEC is going to be stable and the same as a credit, anyway. So you can't do that since last week.
Gotcha. So I mean, but at that point, it was still pretty much the same thing. Of well, you just rather than buying it with the DEC, you just turn the DEC into credits and then buy the packs.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's just one extra step.
Yep.
That's a big step, Jim.
Yeah,
but takes a lot of work.
This is, I think, better marketing for, hey, put your DEC into packs.
Okay.
As opposed to hope you buy credits to buy packs. Hey, remember, you can just stick it straight into packs. And we're going to put it out there, and then it finally puts the peg behind it again. The big thing they talked about to me that I thought was really cool was this idea that they might implement the burning of $1 worth of SPS to get 1,000 DEC, because they're going to create DEC as like one of the most stable assets we've seen at probably right around $1 to $1.25 when it's in demand, which is going to be really good for the game going forward. I know $10 DP, 1,000 at 10 was fun for a little while, but it creates a problem because it's unrealistic earnings. And then you get like a handful of people who are really salty because they got crushed when it fell down. And it's better if that rewards token is just stable and you're able to hold it, you're able to use it in bids. And then it becomes a way to pump SPS as SPS gets burned into creating more DEC when it is on the rise.
Yeah. I feel like I spent a really long time waiting for this moment when DEC went back to peg. I feel like I now finally, because I came in at the 10x, right? So I've never known normal. And I've just been waiting for this moment to see what Splinterlands really is, not the super hodl DEC Splinterlands.
Super inflated price.
Yeah. So like I've been waiting for this since the beginning. Honestly, I was just like, all right, well let's. So like I feel like now I'm actually getting a lot more loose with my fiat at this point, because I have more confidence that we're not in some weird, like we're not moments away from a cliff anymore. You know what I mean? So like I'm actually I'm not going to spoil because I don't know if we're going to talk about Peak Monsters, but like that update as well. Credit bids. I'm also now really loose with my fiat. It's all like it's a great time to be in.
Did that launch? I might have missed it.
Wow. I missed the launch of that too, but that's exciting.
That is
it
exciting.
launched today. And so you
really, after Jarvie was like last week's podcast, he's like, I don't know, it's probably going to be further down the road. It's going to take a long time to develop it. All the while, he was probably already knew it was coming out next week. Unbelievable.
He just had his finger over the button. He's like, I don't know, it could be whenever tomorrow.
So who's buying the track tonight?
Yeah, you got to one up. No, you got to one up Jarvie.
Yeah, you got to buy 2 tracks tonight.
Go ahead, Jim.
What was the credit bits?
Oh, it's that you can put credits on your account, and using Peak Monsters, you can place bids for cards with credits instead of DEC. You don't have to worry about DEC volatility.
That's
So
sick.
that you don't accidentally spend, 4,000 DEC if it's on a dip. And you're like,
Well,
oh,
it-
shit.
Wow.
It's also
What
really
happened?
nice because, before, if you put money into the game from fiat into credits,
Exactly.
you couldn't go out and make bids. You'd have to get a card, sell it, get DEC, and then try to make bids, which
Which was
gets-
always the scary part, like selling
Yeah.
that car. That's how I got stuck with my vigilators. Like, yeah, here we go. Let's just. Oh no, it's taking.
yeah.
But
So
the card's
I don't know.
really
I
good.
think it's been impressive. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I mean, considering the state of the crypto market, I know SPS dipped pretty low at one point, bounced back up a little bit, but compared to the overall market, I'm not saying everything has been bullish. Like we're still going down, but compared to everything else, I'm like, DEC is now back over peg. SPS I think is back to 9 cents now. A lot of the cards went down and then now back up with the reward changes. So I feel like.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the crypto market, actually Splinterlands is doing well in comparison. I don't know if you guys feel that same way.
Yeah, I did
it's
not have to
Splinterlands.
dollar cost average a lot to like save my position. Like it was really nice. I'm sitting really well right now.
Yeah, Splinterlands was always really pretty good at like living through a bear market or a slow market or a nothing going on market, because the assets, they have their scarcity. The marketplace plays its own things. The rewards have a certain value. People have always been able to calculate the value of the chest, and then that drives assets into the current things because you can get them. And so it has its own little flywheel, and it's not completely not affected by the outside market, but it's not as much. And I know one of the other stats I heard that was really good is there's more SPS stake than is liquid right now. So SPS is primed, I think, for a run. But it's not going to run. I don't even know. I think we're going to have a lot of time. So if you wanted to get a lot of SPS, I think you're going to have time, because you saw validators got pushed off to Q4. And until SPS voting is in place, SPS staked voting, it doesn't really have a purpose other than vouchers. Though vouchers are a pretty cool kickback for staking a lot of it, for sure.
Vouchers and tournament entries.
Yeah, but that's only for like a certain level, right? You don't have to keep getting more. You just get enough to get to that level that you want.
Yeah, but when you're not a whale, it's a frick ton to
Yeah,
try to
exactly. He's just like, yeah, no, when you can get in all of them, that's like your thing. And
When-
Luke and I
when
are
we
down
only
here
need
like,
12,000 for the wild
I'm
silver
just over
tournament.
here
Just
ready with my vouchers.
yes, I have a ton of SPS stakes, so that's not a problem. My problem is most of the tournaments I can't make any money in, because I'm the player up in champion, and everything is like 4,000 DEC for me to enter. So what's the point? You have to. It's like
no, that's going to be really interesting coming up with these rewards. There's going to be a lot of decisions. I know champion level players that are playing in silver for tournaments. You know what I mean? Because
Check
that's
'em
where the
out.
money's at right now. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens, like when people start doing the math, and it's like, all
champion
right,
chests are ridiculous.
they're amazing.
They're
Okay,
like on a whole nother level.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Before that, though, Jim, I want to get your thoughts, because it's been a few weeks since you've been here on the podcast, and we've seen a lot happen. It felt like we were falling off a cliff. Now we're bouncing back a little bit with some of the good news. What has your experience been like? I haven't watched you on Dwayne's videos here lately. In the last month or so, how have you felt about Splinterlands? Is this lost confidence for them over this month? Have you gained confidence now with this week? Where are you at?
I would say, guys, we're not going to the moon anymore. All right, it's just dump everything. If you want to sell it to me for like half price, come talk to me. I'll help you out.
Your
okay?
DMs are open. DMs
Yeah,
are open.
My DMs are open.
No, I'm still a huge fan. People talk about it in the stock market. Where do you buy? You buy low and you sell high, right?
It's the
This
selling high part I'm still working on.
we're gonna get there. Don't worry.
Just like it's mine.
So like
What's
it's just still a great time to be picking it up, right? Like I even bought a bunch of it when it was at 12 cents and we're down to 9 right now. I still don't care, right? Because I know I'm still able to be picking some up right now. And when even when it goes to like 40 cents, 50 cents, it doesn't have to go to $1, right? I'm still at a way better position than I was when we were at the top, which is really crazy to think about. But it's just because of, with SPS being so low, we know Rift Watchers is coming out. It's only purchasable with SPS. And we know that all of that SPS now goes into the foundation. And what's going to happen to it? Most people are going to want to burn it, because then that inherently increases the value of every other coin out there as well. So
You don't think they're
bullish.
gonna do the Binance listing?
I think it's possible.
I'm not at it. It was funny, like hearing you and Crypto say that. Like it was just like right out the gate. It was like, yeah, we need to burn some of this. I'm like, man, I don't know yet. We're still like in the first year of distribution, and we're already like, yeah.
Rogue's just like, I want more. Don't burn it.
I know,
Just
right?
give it
The
to me.
supply is relatively low when it comes to the token. I mean, when you think about it, a 3 billion, supply token, it's on a five year. So we're only coming up on year 1 of the
Yeah.
distribution.
5-year plan after the SPS airdrop.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's 6 total.
Yeah.
6 total. So I mean, I don't see a necessity to burn it. I think I'd rather use it for some kind of serious promotional, like cross promotion, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll have to see where the bigger whales are at, because I have a lot of SPS, but I'm not top of that rich list, so I'm not really going to decide.
Governance is going to be real interesting.
I found out I'm top like 700 or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, there's still no way I get a good voting.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of time to talk about that, what will happen with all that SPS from the vouchers, or not vouchers, validator sales. But I want to
That's
get you
what I'm
guys' thoughts.
super
Next
excited for.
topic, would you guys rather jump into the reward changes first or the new reward cards first? Which one?
I want to
Reward changes.
I wanna
Do the
do cards.
changes.
Let's do the cards first.
Okay, all right. Steve
People are
broke the tie.
asking for the cards. The reward
Okay.
changes have been out for longer.
All right, well, I'll try to get them up on the screen as you guys talk about it. There was no official list. All that I took was just screenshots from Bulldog's quick video. Of course, disclaimer, test phase, so stats could change, but usually at this point, they're fairly well locked in. Maybe a stat 2 or here will change, but usually the abilities, all those things, from what I've seen, stay. So what do you guys think? What was maybe a card or 2 that really stood out to you? What were your overall reactions?
The
I'll go
dragon
first.
one.
Red just like pumped Yoden just crazy amount. Like I was trying to think about it, and I was like, did Red have a life leech?
It was in Magic, I believe.
Zalron. Efreet,
Yeah,
whatever
they
his name is.
have another legendary, the 5-drop Magic Life Leecher.
Okay, is that
He's old. He's
He's an old card, so he wouldn't
Okay.
be modern. So this would be their first modern.
like
Life
this is like that was always one of the best things with life leeches when you get into
But-
one of those blast formats, and then like now you gave an archer that has like with Yoden can get boosted and blast and life leech. I'm like, oh my goodness.
and
Good
opportunity,
luck.
no? Or no?
Yeah, it's opportunity.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it is
opportunity
opportunity
too.
too, yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
camouflage.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I had the same thought, Rogue. It was like, oh, this, new ability is going to counter Yoden. Everyone sell your Yodens. He's going to suck now. And then it's like the first 2 reward cards are the fire range, super powerful ones. And you're just like, oh my gosh,
will
this is going to
say
be
that-
hell in bronze and silver.
I don't think a lot of players love Scattershot. There's a few cards that people use it on, but it's such
Sure.
a random thing. And
With
so,
Yoden, though?
Yeah, and that's where like
I mean,
Blast, it
Chaos
makes it a
Dragon,
lot
when he
more
gets blast and
consistent.
silver?
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
with Yoden, you're right, but not everybody has a Yoden, so I'm
Sure.
not sure how popular that other card will be. If you don't have a Yoden, like Scattershot can be super annoying. If you're like, one more hit and the tank's dead, and he shoots somewhere else, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
The heal gets off, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. You're never shooting the right target, and when that happens, it's really annoying. Other times, it's amazing because he takes out somebody you had no chance of taking out. So it's just one of those. It's Well, it's like in modern they added a couple of these features that meant to bring a little chaos to the game, but I don't think a lot of people love them.
They're very like I like them for the aspect of like sometimes you can get into a rule set that like it finds its place. Like Gem Meteor, I'm finding like somebody did it to me once and I thought, oh, that was a really good idea. It was like a close range, and they paired it with General Sloan and put him in like the front slot, and I was looking at him and I'm like, okay, it's like a 5 cost, 2-5 speed with like a little bit of health. I'm like, and it's attacking from the front spot. I'm like, that's not bad, you know. It's like it's really specific, but then you get into the back to basics rule sets, and Scattershot comes off entirely, and now you've got your Ranger just going to town, you know. So like I'm looking at him, and I'm like, he's fairly costed, and he's very fast, and that's I think one of the good things we got going on for him so far.
But camouflage life leech is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
That, because the fact that you can't hit her till she hits that first position means like ideally she's going to be, second to last, and by the time it hits the front row, who knows how much life? Because do you life leech off of blast?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
As long as it's health.
So you could be gaining like
7.
5 life. Yeah, I'm assuming
7.
that not that often she'll deal all 7, but yeah, but
Plus,
like
you don't heal
consistent-
from armor hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if the monster dies, right, you don't get extra. So
Yeah.
there's-
When
there's
I
a
saw
chance.
the legendary fire, it was like, okay, so this is just a way better Lyra for 1 more mana. I mean, it's slightly slower, right? But with opportunity
yeah,
and
just-
life leech and
yeah.
camouflage, it's
Instead of snare, it's got
It's a Lyra
Life
for
leech.
it's a Lyra for the fire team that 1 more mana and they made better. So it is.
Can they fight in the lore? Can we get like a
I
can we
think
get
we
like
know
a
who wins.
volleyball? Can we get like a volleyball deathmatch kind of thing going
They
on?
would
here?
actually both die to fatigue because they can't attack in a 1v1.
Oh, it's just they're
Close
screaming
range,
at each other from across
Yeah.
the table. It's just like-
Eli made a good point though. The one thing Scattershot sometimes does help out a lot in is to counter taunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
Mhm.
more Scattershot monsters as they come into the game, it would be interesting to go with like an entire lineup with like 3 of them or 4 of them, because then
entire team.
yeah.
like,
So-
you know,
legendary
would you have
summoner.
that kind of consistency if you just put like more of them in there. I don't
Yeah.
know, but like I do know that taunt is getting more and more meta right now. It's finding its place quite a bit. So yeah, Scattershot is kind of
Well, yeah, there's
it's
that.
finding a place.
There's the really annoying blue and white
wave brood?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the Kraken.
Oh,
When they
Yeah.
put him in front and they just put healers behind him, that's when
Mhm.
you'd love to have Scattershot to kill those healers, because sometimes you just can't get through the Kraken.
Yep.
yeah. Jim, what was you were calling out a card earlier that really stood out to you? Which one was that?
Oh, the dragon infiltrator. The Drampier.
The
Oh,
mini,
yeah.
the mini
Oh.
silver shield assassin.
The one with double strike
Double
Yeah.
strike sneak cripple.
No, I'm down for
at
this.
gold only though, right? So silver, you're not going to get the cripple. You'll get
Yeah.
the two
Yeah.
melee damage. I feel like the 1 melee damage with double strike is never
And-
that appealing.
And he's
because-
also in Little League because he's 4 mana.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
little
He's
league's
a
pretty nice.
baller.
Yep.
I feel like you're gonna have to get him to level 4 because that 1 melee, like
Yeah.
a lot of the times,
Get
it
him
can be
into silver,
countered
yeah.
if they get a miss or they put a shield back there or whatever. It's not
Mhm.
gonna do a whole lot. But I think in silver with that 2 damage double strike, that could be pretty powerful.
Yeah, especially if you got the dragon summoner +1 melee.
Yep. Which
then
is
you
also
throw
in
in
the
the Carnage
reward set
Titan.
too. Like so when we start talking about like tournament specific, if you get into like a reward tournament, like that's your dragon summoner that you can play. Like so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
combos there.
I kind of wish the affliction. I know you get it in Diamond Champion. I wish that was one of the second abilities for Silver because I think, as you guys just said, taunt is so overused, especially in Silver and Gold, that it'd be nice to have a backline character to land that affliction with double strike. You'd have a lot more chances to land it, but unfortunately, we're not going to get that until Diamond Champion.
Yep.
Yeah, the one attack isn't that bad though, because it is a dragging card, so you can team it with a lot of different people that can buff that attack.
Yeah.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
you know, whatever team you have that has some
Inspire.
inspire, you can go ahead and just put it into that team and get it up there.
Yeah, what Blue's rocking 2 of them right now, right? Like Demented Shark
Demented
and
Shark
the
Riverdale.
and the
Yeah.
Riverdale. Like,
Yep.
you know,
Put those both in there, and you put this and Carnage Titan in double strike with
Dude, you could have triple double strikes in green with the grunt.
yeah,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is fine.
Double Strike's always kind of
Let's-
interesting.
let's
Double
see that
Strike
taunt
Affliction
now.
though
How about that
is
one?
definitely kind of cool.
Honestly, the one I really was excited about was the Epic in Death, the Revealer, because it's finally at bronze. You actually get a stun, and there's
Yeah.
not much stun at lower
yeah,
levels.
100%. Like every time I get that rule set, I'm just kind of like, whatever. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
and,
like it
and
doesn't
there's
matter.
certain cards you can't counter because you don't have stuns. Like stuns can counter Cube, and when you don't have them, that messes that up. Or Kron, you can't counter Kron without a stun. So that's going to make a big difference in the game, for sure.
Could see that. No, I like that. Really excited for that. I really like the Kinju, the legendary neutral, the only card that we have that I think that has the reflect shield.
What's
at
up with
level
the
1.
one attack though?
Honestly, because I look at him he's only 2 mana, right? So I think this is like they were like, okay, look, we're gonna give you the card that you can play with anything to test the ability to fully like
Legendary.
look at the 100%, because I think it's super powerful. I 100% like, and especially when we talk about taunt metas and everything, like one of the biggest things against taunt is blast. You know what I mean? Like you put everything into your front, your Kraken, whatever your Wave Brood, if you're poor, and they blast through any of that. Like you can't run that strat in that matchup, right? So like I'm already trying to think about ways of like tucking this in behind somebody that's going to take all of your attacks, right? In a blast only format or something along those lines. I don't see it countering, like when they announced this, I didn't see it unless it's on a summoner. I don't see it countering Thorns. I don't see it being a good Thorns play, except for I think somebody had brought up potentially having it like on the double strike guy or having on a sneak guy. Like, yeah, that would have been great, but we don't see that yet, right?
Yeah, I've been kind of underwhelmed by the reflection shield, and I think until they, as you said, put it on legendary summoner, it's like, well, obviously Yodin didn't get any nerfs with these new cards. Mylar didn't really get any nerfs with these cards, especially at lower levels. This is the only one with the reflection shield.
This card is a little bit of a Yodin nerf, right? Because on any team, you put them in the second spot, and then no blast damage to the second spot. Nobody else can target him because of camouflage, so he's like an immortal second spot person against Yodin. Like, haha, you can't kill me anyway. There's no, unless I guess the only thing that counters that can Scattershot hit a camo?
I believe so.
So
Yes,
that would be
we did learn it to
so
do
they
that.
did get a little bit of a counter to that, but in general, that card would be very hard for Yodin to get off the board, and he adds Amplify, so you sit him behind a return fire tank, so that you're bouncing back double damage, and that's the play with him. I still don't understand the one attack. It's almost like, well, his card needed one more point for the point scales that they use, so we'll give him an HP. I mean, an attack point, and then I guess when he falls into front position, he can hit for a mighty one.
It's kind of worse though, because if you think about no melee matches, then you can't use them. And he would have been great for that.
He's actually pretty good with Lord Arianthus or the Onyx Sentinel as well, up in the front line.
Sure.
What do those do?
Oh, Lord Arianthus has
Lord A, I remember him.
resistances. Yeah, along with Magic Reflect and Thorns, I believe it is.
You're talking like once you get him to amplify, like goes really well, or
well, he's talking about like anybody with a lot of bounce back, if you can throw an Amplify behind him,
like the bigger tanks as well.
I do think the obvious combo is he gives Amplify to Death. I think I mentioned that to you guys on the pre-show. Death doesn't have Amplify, so it'll be the first time they have it.
Yeah.
And they do have, the Harkon that has the bounce back on the Magic. They have the Summoner with bounce back of Magic. So that's an interesting play for them. You could definitely make some pretty interesting lineups. I still think the one thing when you look at him, he looks like he's meant to sit and hide in the back like a Scalvo or a one of those cards, but he has that one melee attack, which I think will be more problematic than helpful, because it'll be like you'll want to use him, and a melee monster's can attack from anywhere, and then he'll go kill himself. Well, he has.
No,
does he have reflect shield?
He's got the barrier.
I guess he'll just go ping guys for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that'll be nice. Like in the melee attacks from anywhere. Yeah, because that's one of the things with like the spirits or the fiends right now.
Someone's calling him the king of supports because he's a 2-mana slow and amplify. I'm like, the king of supports? I wouldn't say so.
I mean,
He's neutral though, so any team. That's the one thing that
He's
that
really
makes
low
him-
mana too. Like that's what like when you look at like the legendary cards from when you look at the legendary cards from Untamed, right? Like the most expensive, not Untamed, from Dice, the most expensive card is Apanya. And she's literally just support. Right? So like, and that's very meta. Like anytime you get into a bronze tournament, like I have to run Apanya because
What did you
she's
think of the blue ones? Kind of underwhelming.
well,
Yes.
that was one of my takeaways. I honestly feel like most of these cards for lower levels aren't going to change the meta too much. I feel like they're more geared towards the gold and diamond when you look at some of these abilities. And then my other takeaway was it seems like they're trying to buff fire and death a bit and not do too much to water and earth because those are so popular.
I think they did a good job of that because like that is a good
I mean, it
evaluation of
makes
the meta.
sense.
Like 100%. What I did like was Tidebiter here. Like that's I think the best. Like in my mind, that was the best pairing that you could do. Is like the reach and the magic shield because you naturally wanted, or the reflect shield because you wanted it in second position anyway. So having a melee be able to attack from there is real nice. So I think that was like my only takeaway from like, and being low mana, like a 3
I mean,
cost.
the only other thing is water. When you use the wave brood taunt, you might put him back there in the back, and he won't actually attack. He'll just be a little meat blast prevention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. I just think 3 cost cards never impress that much, right? Because you're like, he's not going to dominate the board, but he'll be a good add-on for sure. Definitely an interesting one for lower mana matches. It is nice though to see more low mana cards come out because the one part of this game I don't like is like 12 and 13 mana matches because you're just like, oh, I can't use anything.
Does Water have a good low level team? So 4 and below, Little League?
It's okay depending on the situation, but I would say
Yeah,
it's
like-
top choice.
So this kind
They-
of helps them out too.
They have a sneak lineup that some people run, right? Where you put the 2 cost triage 6 speed as the tank with 9 HP, the Kelp Initiate in the front, and then you just put a bunch of 3 cost sneak guys in the back line. I've seen people run that,
Yeah,
and
I think
it can be pretty effective.
if you're talking about Modern League, though, I think it's definitely Obsidian, unless Thaddeus is there, then Thaddeus, and then a lot of Lorna Shine 4-mana matchups.
Yeah,
as well.
Lorna Shine's still very good in Little League.
What did you guys think about the life one? I don't even think we've touched on life at all.
Oh, dude. I'm kind of a fan of that Jared Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool card for sure. 7 cost legendaries are cool. Magic can kill him, but when he works, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
Steve,
just
Magic
our,
can kill everything.
No, not everything.
yeah. I think at level 3, I think he is like that's like the ultimate, like because he'll never miss, and he'll always
Piercing.
pierce,
Yeah,
right?
level-
And I feel like when I think
level
about
2, yeah.
Grum and all the ways that Grum has screwed me, it's because he misses and because of shields.
But he's such a good tank, though.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah.
Eh.
I'm confused about his name, for one. He just sounds like a white guy from Minnesota or something.
Hey, Jared.
Hi, Jared.
But I think as far as use, it's definitely going to be that case where it's like only if melee monsters can attack from anywhere, or melee sneak attack or opportunity. I just don't see him. Why would you put him in the front when he's going to die to 2 shots of magic?
Or Virus is saying the right thing, like Jared Scar with the
Taunt,
backline
yeah.
taunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Eli
But
was
even
saying
then,
that
if
as
they
well.
have a good tank up front, they could shred through Jared before he actually gets a Bloodlust off.
But I don't think that you're able to taunt reach, though. So, like, having a front line with reach
That is
as
correct. That is correct. You cannot taunt reach, which is like one of the things with blue. Like that meta match is interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have to protect him when you play him, because if you play a 7-cost monster that dies before it can attack, that usually loses you a match. So there's going to have to either be a reverse speed lineup if you want to throw him out there, or you are going to need to use a backline taunt or some debuffs or some HPs or Lorna, so at least he gets a free hit.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Yeah,
either way, he's got a cool
blast.
cigar. So that's something.
Does.
I wonder if they're going to edit that out later.
Make it PG. Is that your concern? All right. Well, I think the only other ones we didn't touch on was green, but honestly, those were
F those cards,
meh.
dude.
Yeah, they were kind of
Yeah,
the
The other-
Vampiric Bloom is at least a straight Llama Cube counter. So that one's
and
kind of
failed
interesting.
summoner.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
unless it's in like the front row, then how's it hitting?
Well, yeah, that's the one thing though, right? You got to put something in front of it that doesn't die too.
Yeah.
But you can combo it with what's that? The 7-cost neutral that has immunity, Yambo Camino or whatever.
Oh,
Camino.
Oh,
Um,
Momo Cambio.
Yeah, Yambo Cambio.
Right,
You could put him in the front with the bloom behind, and then you could maybe beat a Llama Cube.
Right.
So
I
Well, I guess
absolutely
if it's
love
nothing
the
but
art.
Llama Cube, then it doesn't matter because they can't
yeah.
attack your front row anyway.
Mhm.
So, and Cube is how much mana?
6.
6, so 13 mana. Yeah.
It's because Noxus Fumes is just Llama Cube versus Llama Cube every time, pretty much. So now, realistically, if you have that card, you're going to do Llama Cube in that card. And that's going to be the new.
Then you go to 18 mana. Yeah.
Yeah, and an 18. Well, because no matter what, if it's Noxus Fumes, it's always Llama Cube. It doesn't matter the mana cap, and as long as it's over 13, it's Llama Cube. And then you look at the rest of your mana, and it's okay. Who goes with those 2 cards? And the real goal is just to have your cube live as long as you can, so it last stands to a higher HP than the other guy's cube. It's a real silly game mode. And if this card doesn't change it, they should just axe Noxus Fumes, because Noxus Fumes needs to be like auto, no green. Earth is removed.
Rogue, what were you going to say about the art?
The Volguin, the white rare. I was like, when I saw this on the poster, I was super excited for it. And honestly, I like the card. I love the concept. It's got scavenge, so it'll have like real late game potential. And then like if you do get it maxed out, we're talking like high evasion with a fury. And so like I can see this card being like a real pain.
Low mana.
Mhm.
Or
It's
even
kinda like
little.
an ant
It
miner
could be
for-
crazy.
Like he'll be hard to hit, and when you do, he'll hit you harder for a good amount of time, you know. And yeah, then do you touch him? You know, how do you get through him? So yeah, no, I was a huge fan of the art, and I was happy that it came on a card that, you know, kind of already fits with. I think Lorna Shine's gonna love that card.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see it.
for sure. Well, I want to get your guys' thoughts here as well on, there's always this debate of, you hear people say, why are they releasing more cards? There's going to be more supply. You're going to tank all of our prices. Do you guys care about that at all? Do you guys listen to the argument? Are you guys just happy for new cards?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the fact that more cards are coming in, because we're getting a ton more chests. It would have got kind of too repetitive to get all those, massive amount more chests daily and end of season for a lot of players if there weren't more rewards cards put out. I do think that rewards cards having a lot of of things that you can pull makes it a little bit more exciting. You want more cards that can help a team to come from it. And I don't care what anybody says, there are not enough cards for land. They need a bajillion more cards in this game for land. And I know now, I don't know when land's going to be here. It's going to be, 2024 at this point. But when it's here, we need to stake at least 150,000 cards into land, possibly 450,000 cards. that they've hinted at, where it might be a summoner and like up to 2 other monsters that you can put into your land.
And that's not even counting the BCX of those cards.
Yeah. I meant so, and you're going to want silver level probably. And I don't have 200 extra silver level cards in my accounts yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that while people kind of are getting mad at the supply, there's going to be a point in this game eventually where land's going to come out. The land owners are going to want to continually level up their cards to get better production of those materials. And they're going to be constantly buying up the cheapest cards that you want to put out on the marketplace. And that's when things are going to get really interesting, as far as cheapest card probably being not as cheap anymore. Mm-hmm. Because ideally, you're going to eventually want maxed out cards on all of your land. And so if they're maxed out rewards cards, then that's what a lot of people are going to go for. So
yeah, and we're already seeing kind of generally what the with just this announcement on rank rewards and what it's forcing kind of the bot farms to get involved with. I watched the CP per dollar drop from 500 to 350 again in just the last couple of days. So as we were marching closer to that, I don't know, we were getting at 2x times the burn rate, or 2 times the burn rate. And so like the price of the cards that we already have, which I thought was plenty, is already starting to increase, because like these bot farms need to get themselves to that 15 at a more reasonable rate, right? Because like I don't think the rank rewards are gonna stop the bots. I think they're going to like just encourage them to up the model. So I don't know. I'm of the opinion that we needed to increase the supply of the reward cards anyway, because they were being distributed kind of at a slow, at an okay pace to release all the cards in a year. That was the pace. So now if they're going to up the distribution rate, right, you have to increase the supplies, so that way like you didn't just cut yourself short on the first ones. So I'm actually going to like this. Like maybe if they can get into the habit of like a rotate of like maybe 3 times a year they introduce new reward cards, and then as these are all in circulation 1 year later, the first ones end up being in full circulation, new 10 add in, and we're just kind of in this constant rotation to get through 8 million common reward cards in a year while upping the distribution to people.
Yeah, I have the same thought. I mean, I think to keep people engaged in the game, I think they need cards regularly to come out. And I know they've said they don't want to be Magic the Gathering always, putting out new things. But honestly, I feel like even from Chaos Legion coming out in December to now, it felt like too long of a gap where nothing was changes, none of the meta. Kind of what you said, Steve, like you're pulling the same reward cards over and over again. So once you have your level of silver level maxed out or whatever you're at, it's like, well, cool, I guess I'm just sitting on random individual BCXs, or I'm selling them off. So I think this is actually way more encouraging. I think they should have maybe even just less reward cards put out all at once and just split them up, kind of as you said, Rogue. Like, hey, every 3 months we're going to get some more cards. Because imagine, think about competitive games that have been around for a really long time. Imagine League of Legends or CSGO. Well, I guess CSGO is a bad example, but Valorant or some of these top level games. Imagine having one patch a year, like one difference of change a year. You really think people are going to keep playing these games for the entire year? No, it's going to get stale. It's going to get boring.
They release cards on a pretty regular basis because they do new rewards cards. They do drops like this. They do promo cards. We have another promo in the works, that sport athlete that kind of fell.
Oh my goodness!
Off, right?
Win.
But it's coming.
I'm so over it.
You have the Rift Watcher set coming, so that'll be a lot more cards. And then they do promos. I don't know if they'll do another promo eventually where they'll release like a special, like they did that, where they did like the cards that were like themed after like another game and stuff like that. So they have a history of just adding new things into the game. That's for sure. The one thing I would say that maybe is a little disappointing is they've had like meta changing cards in the past in rewards, like literally cards that change the entire game. And now these ones, I don't know if there is one I would classify in this new set. So that could be starting to come to an end, and
Well,
it makes a
we
little
had
more sense.
two. Like we had, like when these cards were released, two of them were meta defining back when we had Ulrich as a summoner. So like these are those same cards. And like those were meta defining, right? And then, you know, they captured some people at ridiculous prices and then they got burned after a meta change. But like, so it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, you're right. We transitioned, like we had this meta, we had ridiculous reward cards that were like worth way more than other ones if you pulled them. And then we shifted metas. And now you're right. I think we do still have meta relevant cards. I just think the supply is way like there's just burying demand. You know what I mean?
What do you guys think about instead of having this, we have an X amount of cards for the reward cards, make it time based instead? It's like, hey, after 6 months,
I would like
just no
time
more
based.
printed. It's a cutoff.
I don't think I have like a strong opinion either way. I don't mind knowing exactly how much is coming because like it helps in my calculations and everything. Like that's actually one of my biggest gripes with Gods Unchained right now is like they were just kind of like, yeah, we've got this set out. You don't know when we're gonna pull the plug. Just keep buying. Just keep buying. Oh, we're pulling the plug. 2 weeks notice.
Yeah,
like,
I would
what?
say no. I don't think that would work very well for this game because like the game is built where basically they say this is how many max cards can be made with what we're releasing. Every time they have that in mind, and every time it in my mind they haven't gone too far. It's just up into this time, not enough players are looking to push their cards to the maximum level. So now they went ahead and said, okay, well, we'll give you $5 chest if you get to the maximum level. Maybe you want to do it now.
Yeah.
So
Jim, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, going back to the them releasing new cards, it's like people will get upset that something is completely broken, right? And then they're like, well, you guys need to nerf it. Well, they're not going to nerf the cards. They're just going to come out with new cards to then stop those cards. But then you're going to be upset that they came out with new cards.
Yeah.
On top of that, right? On top of it, they're coming out with new cards that can provide synergies with other cards as well. Some cards that could be like, you know, $1 or $2. Well, now there's a new card that comes out that makes it even better than what it was because now you actually have that extra little oomph from these, whether it's a support card or just a card that provides, you know, pretty much the same as a different card that was out there. So like the Carnage Titan, right? Throwing out another double attacker for Dragon. Sure, it doesn't attack the same target, but you're still applying that amount of double damage every single turn now, right? So then you start using those along with the other cards that already buffed the Carnage Titan, the card that already buffed your, whether you were going red or going blue for now the Inspire or the green with the Grund. So it's like, sure, they're providing these other new cards, but they can also then just buff other cards that were already out previously. You know, all the Inspires. Well, now all the Inspires just get better because you have now better cards to be utilizing with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think if people are really worried about the card prices, just sell your reward cards as you get them and buy back later. That's the typical trend we've seen, at least. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think it's more fun to get cards, and I think that's better for the whole game and ecosystem, anyways. So if you're looking at it from the game is going to engage more players and keep players around for longer, then that should be, in theory, for the long term, way better for all of our assets anyways. So I don't know. I just don't agree with the argument. I get where they're coming from, I guess, but I don't agree.
it also helps the casual players possibly buy summoners. Because I remember like when I was first playing this game, the first couple times I leveled up summoners was because I got enough of a card for free that I'm like, well, I already have the card at level, 5. Or 6. I want to be able to play it at level 6, so I'll go ahead and level up my summoner to level 6. And maybe that doesn't happen the first one that you get there, but all of a sudden when you have like 3 or 4 cards on a team and you're like, maybe I'll go ahead and make that investment. And maybe that won't happen as much for the gold level, but for silver, like an upper silver, it's like to go to 3 or 4 instead of just playing at 2.
Yep. All right, well, let's get to the last but not least. The thing we've all been waiting for. The time is here. The time is now. Well, I guess in about like 8 days, 10 days, whatever we have left.
11 days.
Reward changes.
Even have
People
to
have been... Oh, I think you're roboting out there.
Oh,
there we go. You back.
he's dead.
All right. I'll just leave it at that. Reward changes. Thoughts, feelings.
My video on them got over 2,000 views. What? Where'd that come from in this market? I was not doing near that good again. And it's because they're that big. I mean, it's wild what they decided to do. It's a lot more than I thought they were going to do, for sure. I mean, every player can earn probably 20 chests a day now, no matter what league you're in. Every player can shoot for that.
30 is the max on a day?
Yeah. I think 20 is more attainable for people. I don't think very many people will get 30 because from what they've said, to get 30, you need to be playing with alpha and beta cards and promo cards and be winning quite a bit.
Get on a good win streak.
A good streak and stuff. And not every player has those older cards to get all those bonuses. But still, I mean, right now you do a rewards quest and you get 2. Even if you're playing in silver 3, you get dose. And now you're going to even like a not that good player is going to get 5 times as many, 10, 12 chests every single day, and then at the end of the season they're probably going to open up 50 or 60. That's a complete different thing. And then what they did for the upper leagues with the DEC multiplication, and like the gold lottery tickets you get now if you're playing in champion and opening champion test to try to pull those gold legendary cards. It's great because I really hope they incorporate those percentages into the game. Like when you go open your end of season chest, I hope it says you could have had a chance for 3% more legendary cards.
Just put it in your face.
Yeah, put it in your face. Like really let you know, like if you're having fun and this is good, make that extra investment, push yourself up to the upper leagues and collect those big rewards.
I think if they're going to do that, they need a number of like how much money it is to climb from silver to gold, and it'll just be the fat like $3,000 right there as well.
Was $3,000? That's not gold. More than that.
Can you say the cake is a lie?
I think Rogue has some alpha, so somebody's hacking him right now.
Rogue is turned into a robot.
He's trying so hard. We'll get him back here.
Yeah, he's
The hot alpha just ripped him out. They canceled
Rogue
him.
was pissed.
Jim, what did you say to him?
The one thing that this definitely is going to change too for a lot of players is I know a lot of us right now play Splinterlands while you're doing something else sometimes. And you just kind of go, and if you lose, you go, and then you go and you play till that quest is done. Now you're going to be sitting there going like, okay, wait, what's the rule set? What's the mana? What has he played?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my biggest takeaways is like, oh, actually playing ranked sounds fun again, because before that's why I was only playing tournaments, is because, as you said, the ranked play felt like it had no punishment or consequence for losing matches, so whatever, skip through them, go next. And now it's like, okay, win rate seems to be a pretty big deal.
I do hope they fix the daily focus weakness though relatively quickly, because if you get stuck on a bad team, you're going to literally be like, okay, if I want a good amount of daily chests, I'm going to hurt my entire season rewards.
I think they could also make it to where you get like 50% less focus points for just like using a completely different team, but just winning, or like X amount.
Yeah, they could do something like that where like every match you could win some points, but if you used, so it's kind of like you're getting rewarded for playing daily and you're getting rewarded extra if you play with this splinter.
Exactly.
That would be an easy fix because then you wouldn't be forced into it, because questing can be the most frustrating thing ever when it's your weak splinter and you get stuck in it because you're just like, and then you realize you're like, I got to stop playing it for a couple turns because everybody knows I've been playing it.
Dude, every time I see blue, I just skip it. I'm like, I can't play it. I don't
That's
know
the
how.
easiest one, Jim.
I don't know.
Dude, sometimes people don't. There's just there's ones you don't play. You don't know how to do it, or you don't see how they can win, and then you have your 2 or 3 that are your favorite and win all the time.
Yeah.
And so you want to play with those if winning matters. I don't want to ever go away from basically Kitty and Jotun ever. I just want to go back and forth between those 2 cards.
Yeah. If I ever get blue, I just turn on the bot and I go AFK. That's all I gotta do.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny because most people like blue. I don't like blue
know.
either, though.
I love blue.
I hate blue.
I love it. It's
I
so
hate it.
powerful. What do you mean, dude? Are you guys kidding
It's so
me?
garbage, dude.
In silver, it is the top deck, 100%.
I
for
have
anything over
Ulrich
25 mana.
and Kelia to try to use, and I don't know. I just lose a lot. I lose a lot.
Yeah. Rogue, do we got you back?
Maybe. I didn't know you were losing me.
We got you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
We got you back.
You're gonna have to
So-
let me know if you're losing me again.
Yeah.
We will.
So I want to know from you guys. We can talk about this in the overall picture, but just personally, their whole goal, right, was we want to push people more towards one account and leveling up one account. Is that true for you? Do you guys feel like you're now? I know, Steve, you're kind of already at the top, so maybe it doesn't change much for you.
He's like,
Besides
now I
getting
can
a
put
bunch of
2
rewards.
accounts to champion. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So I mean, is this personally? Is this gonna force your decisions differently?
I don't know. For me, I'm hoping it brings more people into Champion, because Champion is a weird beast to play in, because there's not enough players who are up there who only have, say, like some of the cards or some of the maxed card teams and stuff, because basically all day I play the same about 50 to 60 people and they have every card in the game. And it's frustrating and it's not that fun at times, because you're just like, I'm so tired of playing these guys who have every single card, and I can't talk about first world problems because I have a lot of the cards, but I don't have all of them. And so it just, you want it to be a little bit more competitive up at the top, more people pushing their way to there. That's the big thing I see hopefully happening that would change my day-to-day thing. As far as what it would let me do I see myself like, the one thing it changes overall is I might make that extra expenditure to buy certain cards now that I'm missing, because it's finally important that I'm missing them. Like, I wasn't going to spend thousands of dollars on a Mylor or a Lorena who I only have at level 4. I wasn't necessarily going to spend multiple thousands of dollars on the Valimor or a the different 5 beta ones. Might I now? Maybe. I'll have to see how it goes. Like, if I'm only farming, 40 to 50 champion chests because I can't compete with the people who have those cards, it can push me to finally maybe go like, all right, I'm gonna, do something to get the money to get those cards.
Yeah, is that do something potentially like decreasing your amount of other counts, like consolidating? Like that's, I mean, like
maybe.
Quick question, knee jerk. Do you think if you closed all your accounts and went to one, you could have every card?
Probably.
Okay.
Because I have.
That's really the big thing. Is are you incentivized to do that? Like only play one account?
I don't know. I might be, because I have another account that's basically got all the beta cards at level 6, and so if I liquidated that account, it would be a decent amount of money. And I probably could then pick up, at least Mylor, Lorena, Valimor, like the important ones for sure. I could probably pick those up with that money. It's possible. But the one thing is like, how many rewards is that account going to be able to farm?
I don't
So-
think it's actually going to push that much, because like I was comparing silver to gold, and it's like I still think technically you're going to have 4 accounts in silver do better than gold. The difference is now your win rate actually matters. So you're going to have to either personally play all 3 or 4 of the accounts, which not a lot of people are going to have the time to actually do that, or you're gonna have an actual good bot. You can't just get these free bots and have them, throw 70% of the matches because they can just still get their daily rewards. You actually have to either create your own bot or buy some kind of bot. So I think it's gonna decrease the number of accounts that way. But I still think if you have 4 silver accounts or 4, Steve, whatever, 3 diamonds account and 1 in champion, you're probably going to be better than that than still shoving them all into 1 account is my guess.
We'll find out.
I don't know. It really depends. Like, did you see how much of a better chance I'm going to have in a champion to get that 8 cost legendary card gold?
Yeah,
Better odds, but if you have 4 accounts in diamond, let's say, versus 1 account in champion, or 4 accounts in silver versus 1 account in gold, your odds are less per account, but you have 4 accounts now, so I don't know. It's gonna be testing for sure.
But if you looked at the numbers for the silver and the gold, right? For gold, you're getting 8 times the amount of tokens in comparison to silver. On top of that, you're getting better odds of getting the DEC. You're getting better odds of getting the cards, and then same with packs. On top of that, you then have a better multiplier of then getting gold foils as well, which I think definitely beats a 4 times.
Yeah.
From account.
I think you're underestimating the 3% chance to get a gold foil combined like over 3% and over 3% legendaries. Because with those changes, if you're a good champion player, I can guarantee you're going to get gold legendary cards.
Yeah, my argument was more towards Luke saying the 4 silver accounts versus 1 gold.
Yeah, but at the same time, and again, I just looked silver to gold.
Yeah.
If you have the win rate and you're getting a bunch of chests in silver, let's say you're across 4 accounts, you get 400 chests at the end of the season in silver, versus on 1 account you get 100 gold chests. Which one would you rather have?
Right. But the numbers, if we're talking about the total tokens that you get 8 times the amount of tokens.
Yeah. So DEC, I agree, but it's not triple rewards for things like the legendary. It's like a 50% bump. So that's where I'm like, I don't know if that is enough in theory. I think it does prevent a lot of bots that are bad or a bunch of people playing a bunch of accounts that aren't getting good win rates.
It's a little bit more than 50% because don't you also get a bump in the chance to actually get a card?
Well, we've got somebody in our guild that did some EV stuff. Somebody said that like bronze EV was something like 3 cents, silver EV is 7.6. Gold EV is 15.2, diamond is 21.6, and champion is 42.6 cents per chest.
So if we're going off of EV, then yeah.
No, if you're going off it, because then the argument then comes back to, okay, if I consolidate, right, and I'm able to get more wins, then I will get more chests, right? So like, sure, you would get like, it's not only you will get more gold chests, but then you'll also get like less champion chests. You know what I mean? Plus, it does get into that time factor. I think the win rate's going to be huge here. Like, you have to have time to play. I believe 30 games a day. You know what I mean? And you need to run 5 accounts. You know,
that's why we got bots, man.
That's you gotta have a good
to
bot.
clarify, I do think some accounts will be consolidated. I'm just saying not all of them, which I don't think is their goal anyways. Because to play up in gold, it is freaking expensive. So like, while more people are going to be motivated, like I'm probably going to be moving to gold just to play, even though I only have a silver level deck for the most part, and not even that maxed out for Chaos Legion. Yeah, and to go up to max level gold is like another $2,000, right? So that's like a lot of money. And I don't know, Rogue, what are your thoughts? Because that's the argument I'm hearing from people that I've been discussing is, do you now go to gold to skip out on bronze tournaments to try to get better rewards, or do you hang out in silver and still play in bronze?
I still play in silver because I don't have a maxed out silver deck, right? So like, I really do need to focus on that win rate, and I need to focus on optimizing what I can. And silver is just going to be honestly, bronze is the best place for me to do it if I'm going win rates and all that stuff. So that's like a serious thing in my mind. Like at this point, now that credits are out, like, do I actually go to bronze? Like, that's my big thing is like right now I can't compete leaderboards in silver. You know what I mean? Because I don't have all those cards necessary. So do I actually go down to bronze and try that? That's some of the stuff I'm thinking about. But like overall, like I think this is perfect. I think they did everything that they were supposed to, because I do not believe that this will get rid of bots. 100%. I do not believe that. I do believe that bots are an essential part of our game, because I view them as more of like NPCs. They are there. They are there for your experience, for you to be able to play the game whenever you want. My biggest thing was that the NPC shouldn't make more money than I do, right? So if we thought, if they set it up this way, and if bots don't change, if they still run those ECRs through the ground, they still get 3 chests a day, right? They can still do a calculation that says like this bot will still be profitable at like, I don't know, like $3 a day or whatever, $2 a day. And like, but because I'm a player, I have so much higher of a ceiling than a bot does. And that's the important part. As a player, I can come in here with my collection and I can go way farther than a bot can. But there is still room for a bot to exist here at a lot lower pay. So I think the ecosystem is going to be really good coming off of this.
It's super important. They finally said something in the town hall. What was a hard point? Finally mentioned, hey, we're trying to stop win trading. That was like the first time I've ever heard that, which was a huge concern, because if win percentage is such a big deal and bots can still win trade. Now, I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to implement separating all the bots from being able to play each other, because in Cryptmancer's video, it was like, I mean, some of these bots are getting 16 out of their own 20 matches paired up against their own bots. So that's a lot. I mean, it runs deep.
Yeah. The other thing, though, in your example of like, if I don't think a 4 accounts to 1, that doesn't make sense to me, because I don't think you would run 4 because like, unless you're trying to run like level 2 silver decks, but then your win rate probably isn't going to be that great, because you're going to run into people with more maxed out cards. And honestly, in the future, I have a feeling that the leagues are going to get more competitive now that rewards are bigger. And if you're running 4 maxed out silver cards counts, that's almost the same cost as running 2 level 5 gold. Certainly the same cost as running 1 probably maxed out level 6 gold. So why do all the extra work of playing 120 games a day when you can consolidate, focus on 1 account, and probably make the same, if not more?
Yeah, if it gets more competitive, I agree. Because previously, I could run my alt account with 0 money in it, rent a 2-cent Lorna Shine team and Oceanus plus Doan, and I was at gold rating at the end of the season, which I don't think it would make sense to jump into gold.
Yeah, but you were also doing that by not going into gold. If you went into gold, you would have started to lose. But
that's what I'm saying. You could have 4 fairly cheap silver accounts that you're not going to get a ton of win rates, but probably still enough to get decent rewards.
Also, you have to remember the rating cap on earning now based on the league you're in. That's another thing that's going to push people to go up, because you're going to eventually get to a point where your rating is so high that you're not even earning that money, that full bonus. Yeah. And it's such a big deal now because it gets cubed. So literally, if you're at like, max gold rating and you're hanging out in the silver, by going up to gold, you're the amount of extra points you'd be getting for your chest would just be, it would just be a lot for every single win.
Yeah.
And just to clarify again, I'm approving of these changes. I like the changes. Yeah. As I said, I just don't think it changes everything where everyone will now be with 1 account, was more so my point. I think it does reduce the amount of accounts substantially. We'll see how big of the shift is, in a couple of weeks and maybe a month or 2 of testing.
I mean, it all depends on how much time people like. I'm still shocked about how much time people actually do have to play this game. Some of the people that I talk to like run multiple accounts, tournament accounts, and like, so in my mind, it's like I can't find time to play 30 games in a day and manage 1 tournament. You know what I mean? Like, because I only have 2 hours a day. So like that's my time frame, you know what I mean? So like I was never in an option to be a multiple count anyway, but like I do believe that this is, after the first season, everyone's going to see, it'll be a crazy psyche for everyone because right now they've gotten the max of whatever is available. The max of whatever is available. Now they've set that carrot so far out there that like you literally like probably cannot get the max amount of chests in a day back to back. Like you will really be pushing your ECR calculations to be like, oh my goodness, like all right, like I can get one more chest today. Do I do that or do I relax and like go push into tomorrow? Like what you know what I mean? Like the rental market, like people used to rent like for one day, then take an entire day off, get both chests done and all this stuff. Like there's going to be a whole psyche change with players. And I personally, I think there is going to be a lot more consolidation, a lot of consolidation. I do believe that the bots are still like, I don't think we'll recognize it so much as players because I believe the bots outnumber alt accounts by quite a bit. But I do believe that the players will start to shrink down, you know.
Jim, what does this change for you? I know we talked a little bit beforehand, but you've been known as I'm silver guy only. Is this bump you up? Is this motivating to you?
So
Jump
the
into
one
gold?
thing that I've talked about this in the past before. So I pretty much only have silver level cards, but I was able to climb through gold and almost hit diamond because of the cards that I had. And a lot of people were still just using either maxed out for bronze or they just weren't even like using a good team. So I was still destroying people in gold and climbing up through it. So it's just like, I think I'd rather at that point have the versatility of like nearly every single card maxed out for silver, along with the lower BCX, which is always nice for resale, but still just playing gold. I think that is the actual plan.
So they didn't give you more motivation to actually level up your cards. It's just more motivation to actually play in gold above your leveled cards.
Yeah. Now what has to happen?
I still don't want to go
to
above
convert
gold
Jim.
or something.
What has to happen is gold gets competitive.
He has to get
And
his butt kicked up there.
He's getting so now. I'm going all three of my accounts back down to gold to start.
Back to gold.
Guys, it's all right. I'm
Beat
running the
Jim
bot.
in
I won't
gold.
even be there. Okay.
It's not win trading. It's like Steve specifically looking and headhunting Jim. It's like the opposite.
Actually, gold is my worst league by far. Every once in a while I sneak into gold tournaments and I get stomped because I'm just like, I play bronze now and silver on my little account, so I kind of remember that game, and I play diamond and champion on my big one. But when I go to gold, I'll play cards all the time while you're like, wait, it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Why am I not reflecting arrows with my shield there?
So I guess big question: Do you guys think it'll be like open all at once every 24 hours, or do you think it's like open as you go? Like when you unlock a chest, you get to open it. What do you think?
I would say open as you go. I mean, why not? I think that would be a lot more engaging. I don't see why you would make it
a lot more
force
transactions
people.
though.
No, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be if you can get them early. I think it's going to be claim when you want to, and it would end your focus, or it's going to be the next day you get them. Because I think one of the points of this is they want to let every player have a screen with 20 chests on it. So
Yeah,
having
right,
you
like
open
that's fair.
one at a time.
of
I
mine.
mean, especially because when you open one chest, it's still going to be a potion sometimes.
Right.
And so I don't
A
think that
lot
would
of
be.
times.
I don't think it's a lot better if you have 20 chests and you're
Yeah,
like, all
that's
right,
fair.
6 of them were potions, or whatever the percentage ends up being.
I think that
Well,
would. How cool would that be if like end of season is every day?
Essentially, yeah.
That's what it's going to be for a lot lot of players,
Dude, that's how
right?
they make
God.
it fun, man. That's how
It's
they
actually
make
going to
it
be
fun.
more chests than
I
your end of
know.
season.
I
Because
know.
if the max is 30, that means if you're somewhat decent, you're going to be getting 20 probably. And 20 is for a silver player who used to get 12 at the end of the season. I mean, a 12 to 14.
How many of us after day 4 of the season only played for their quest and then stopped? I mean, besides tournament,
I'm literally doing that right now.
right?
Yeah.
So that you actually be motivated to play again for
I won't
ranked
be a part of
each
this
and every
poll.
day. Because you just don't play at all.
Yeah, after the
Sitting in
fourth
your
day.
bot farms.
Totally.
So
Guys,
you're
I'm playing every day for multiple hours. What are you talking
Like
about?
24 hours
literally
a
playing
day.
I got
right now.
3 accounts that I run. I mean, I play 100%.
I mean, does this change botting for you, Jim? Do you feel like you're gonna have a good enough bot to still get rewards,
Ooh.
or
Also, follow-up question. Like, what is your general botting strategy now going into this? What are some of the moves you've had to make in anticipation of this?
Making sure, especially since I want to play in modern, like I need to make sure I have every single common and rare card because that's what the bot tends to use. And I need to make sure I have all of the summoners as well that are inside or that I know the bot utilizes. So the more you watch it, the more you're like, okay, well, this is what they use. So then I have to go out and get those cards.
Okay.
Apparently, I need to do that.
for your bots?
Well, because I don't pay much attention to my two sub accounts that bought, because all I do is go, did you finish your daily quest? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And basically the bot is set to play every 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So the ECR is always floating around 70%. And sometimes
Are you using Ultimate?
I use the one that the VN bot service runs.
Okay.
So I don't know which one it is. They actually want to raise the price, and everybody shot back at them. You need to make it better then, because I'm not paying you more because the win rates are terrible. And I even pointed out, I'm like, your stupid bot grabs ghost cards sometimes on my account, because after the ghost cards changed, my accounts are old beta accounts, and I'll go look at the matchups and I'm like, yeah, you threw level 1 cards on the board on my level 6 teams. And so I didn't care, because all it was, are you getting my daily chest? And are you making your way up to diamond for the end of season? And they were. Now I'm going to have to really reevaluate it. I might not even bot them anymore, because one of the things I might do is sell off the account that only has the 4 teams. So it has 3 level teams and dragon cards. And then I just play the 2 accounts. So play the account that has 6 and then use the money from the 3rd account to make that other account a little bit better, because it is missing a few cards.
Yeah.
So.
And people have been asking me, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. They're like, oh, do I need to go rush out and buy all the starter cards if I haven't yet? And my take as a human, it's like, at this point, do you really need to go buy a $14 unicorn if you've missed out on it when it was $3? Because there's so many other cards. Like, yes, you're going to get punished if you use the starter cards, but guess how many times I use the starter cards now that I have all the reward cards, now that I have other Chaos Legion cards and Untamed cards or whatever. I actually don't feel like I use starter cards, maybe besides 2 or 3 every once in a while. So it's kind of like, okay, do I really go bite the bullet to buy an overpriced unicorn now when it's like maybe going to cost me 10% of my rewards for 1 battle a day?
Yes.
You think so? You think it's still worth it?
It's not 10%, right? Well, okay, it varies.
It
on how
depends.
big
Yeah, it's whatever.
Depends.
In my opinion, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I would say that if it's in your budget, if you have the money sitting around, you might as well go buy one of those cards, and you should do it now before it
It already exploded.
Yeah, I know.
Unicorn jumped from like $3 to like $14 within a couple days of that announcement. I don't know. I didn't check the exact
know your
timing,
play
but-
style and buy the ones that you use on a consistent basis. So if you use unicorn a lot, then you don't want to be losing, because I mean then you start off with 1, and then if you're playing down in silver and bronze and your main cards you use a lot are that, and then you want to use like something else that might be ghost carded, you end up with 2 on the board. You're losing maybe 30% of your ECR for that match. I mean,
Yeah.
No, quick tip of advice for anyone who's interested in botting, right? If you have leveled up cards, all the bots that use level 1 or slightly below your level, you pretty much instantly win, because even if you all have the exact same lineup but your cards are higher level, it doesn't go into a draw. So then you just beat all the bots that are also running the exact same line as you. So
what
that's
you're
how
saying
you can
is
also increase your.
You're essentially win trading without trying to win
Essentially.
trade.
essentially, yeah. If you're playing the same bot, they pick the
Yeah.
same team, and if your cards are leveled, you win.
Yeah. No, but I'm of the mindset that like go ahead and buy 1 BCX of all of Untamed. I already did it. I bought the bullet, or I did it
But
What
you
was
bought
that,
it when
three-
it was like 8 times cheaper back like a month
Did I?
ago.
I mean,
believe.
I didn't. I don't think it cost me $70 to get one of everything, not the summoners. I didn't buy any Untamed summoners. I don't play the Untamed summoners.
I mean,
Um,
Untamed is going to be in the meta for Modern
that's-
until Rebellion
that's the
comes
big
out,
point.
and that won't come out for at least a year and a half, probably.
Because let's be real, Mustang is doing its thing right now because it's meta. What happens when Rift Watchers comes out? What's the next meta card? What's the next thing that you're like, crap, I need it? You know what I mean? So like, I spent $70. I got them all one BCX. I'm not going to level them up. I'm not going to go max silver on any of this, mainly for that future proof aspect of my deck. Like when we rotate, I will probably dump a lot of my Untamed to be real with everybody. I'll just be like, because like in my mind, my collection is starting at Chaos. And so Chaos will be max silver, hopefully by the time Rift Watchers comes out. And I'll maintain max silver till I have assets enough to push to gold. Then whatever Modern is at that point, like I don't even think Chaos will go to gold. I think I'll be looking at like Rift Watchers or Rebellion to go to gold for the next future proof, right? Like that's the way that I'm viewing this. And so for me, the $70 today was just to make sure that like I'm gonna get the most amount of chests that I can. You know, Shield Bearer is like a staple in my General Sloan lineup. I flippant like he protects my mercenary like it's nobody's business, and I run that team an obnoxious amount of times. Had to go out and buy him. You know what I mean? I already had a gold foil Serpentine Spy, but Serpentine Spy is super meta. The Unicorn super meta. The Failed Summoner.
Yeah, Failed Summoner, Ice Pixie. There's a couple. I guess my point is if you're strapped for cash, I think it's okay to just buy Chaos Legion starter cards because they're so much cheaper. And then maybe, as you said, there's like, okay, I have 2 decks that I normally go to, Water and Earth. Okay, I know that. Maybe I'll just buy the Mustang and just buy the Ice Pixie because I can, ignore the other parts of that. And then Steve just gives me 20 packs out of nowhere. So
Yeah, I tell you what, if you're strapped for cash, after this first season, make sure you're selling all your reward cards because they're going to be super expensive because people like Steve are going to need them in champion level like yesterday. And so they're going to pay good money for them. Sell all your reward cards, then buy the Untamed. Then you're great.
Steve, earmuffs.
I forgot your in-game name, Jim. So,
It's Moon Killer 3Os.
oh my gosh.
I'm about to send Steve a gift.
There you go.
yeah, don't worry, Rogue. You got some too.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I got to go.
It's
I
a
would go
party
look at-
now.
What am I doing?
I wish I had potions to open them. Gotta send it to my alt account so I can use all those
Dude.
potions I've been farming
Yeah,
for the
just
last
a
2
little
months.
gift.
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
Next time, can we make it DEC or credits so I can go ahead and buy the packs to get up to my 675 so I can get for sure a one-of guarantee of the Dragon Legendary Summoner.
Oh my
right.
goodness.
Is that how many you need? 675?
675, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, every time you see what we saw last week with Chaos Legion packs, $2, I'm buying them, man, on secondary markets. I don't even care about the airdrop points. When they're
Oh,
$2,
yeah, we're going there
Secondary
now.
market, it's super nice, but I'm like, but I really want that guaranteed, extra summoner.
Yeah, I mean, all it would do for me is bump me from like a 5% chance to an 8% chance, so I'm not too stoked on that.
Yeah. I need
I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy.
Oh, man.
Part of
Any
me
other-
almost wants to bite the bullet and just like 2K here, just take it. I'm buying the packs and just be like, okay, guaranteed summoners, and just like try to forget about it for like a really long time because it'd be like a very wrong decision. I'm not saying do it, but like my OCD mind is like, yeah, I think I just need, like, I'm hoping I get to a point in this game where every set release 1,000 packs done. Just not even going to think about it. All the airdrops, I'll get them. I want to get to that point because right now it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul not having enough for all the legendary summoners.
Don't worry,
what you could do?
it always hurts your soul. I have 4,000 bought, and it still hurts my soul because I don't quite get a maxed summoner, so I still have to go to the market and buy a couple more.
One thing I would recommend, definitely not financial advice for me. Like $2,000 in SPS, stake it, whatever you get daily, then just start snowballing that into cards. That's what I would do.
Get vouchers as well.
Exactly, get vouchers. If you wanted to sell those, I personally wouldn't, but yeah.
No, sell all your vouchers. I'm selling mine once they hit a certain point. Buying cards.
I sold some, but only because
I'm not gonna get a node.
I had a lot. So
Yeah.
And now that they said that Rift Watchers most likely will be just like Chaos Legion, where it's only needed to buy in like the initial presale, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna buy that many anyways to get those promo cards again.
Actually, I'm really grateful they did that.
I wasn't a fan.
Oh my goodness! As soon as they said, as soon as they had the stuff for the nodes and we had the promos, I was like, oh god, there's not gonna be enough vouchers. We're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim's like, yeah, I don't care.
Jim's like, I would have been rich.
I wish, dude.
I will say I am very curious how quickly we will sell out of Rift Watchers. I think it goes before Chaos Legion is done.
It depends on the
how many.
cards. We got to
think
know
so?
the cards. Yeah, because until people know what's in the set, I don't see it selling out that quick. Because I don't think a lot of people are keen on spending SPS while it's like at a dime. I want to buy Rift Watcher packs for $5 when I give 5 SPS for a Rift Watcher pack, not when I give,
Yeah.
I think it's going to go up at around that point anyway, because Rift Watchers and the end of the SPS airdrop should be coming out roughly the same time frame.
Yeah.
And they were wanting to implement more utility for SPS aside from that. So,
I mean, you might want to talk to the rest of the crypto market though as well. Tell them to get a little bit more bullish around the board. It might help.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know. I have to see our numbers after the new ranked rewards is out. See if our if 300,000 accounts disappear, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so things are probably not selling out that fast.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, final question, because this came in the chat earlier. I want to get your guys' thoughts. We talked about buying cards. How do you guys think the rental market is going to be changed with all these reward changes?
I don't know.
they're going to go up. Rental cards will definitely go up because people will no longer be looking to rent for a day. They'll be looking to rent for seasons because they want to do the daily quest every single day.
Yeah.
So that's going to take more cards off of the market. Like Rogue said, the little trick of waiting to do your quest so you can do 2 in one day with one set of like rented cards.
Yeah.
For one day, it's not gonna work anymore, and that just means there's going to be less supply.
So what do you think? Like we don't have end of season as bad as it is right now, but just like more of a steady market.
Yeah, just a steady market that'll be slightly higher than the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
It'll
beginning
go
of the
up a
season,
bit.
what, 400 CP, 500 CP per DEC?
Yeah, it'll probably be somewhere around 300 or something. Also, it's gonna change the thing because like right now, the bots. So if you're still because the bots, if they're gonna run a lot with rental cards, and it used to just be rent enough cards to get power. So rent whatever was the cheapest for power, and then my ghost cards will just get me to silver, and they'll just get me my daily quest. Well, that's not going to work anymore because if you rent like the same stupid cheap card for CD and then you go play the game, you'll have no real cards to play the game with, and you won't earn any ECR, so you won't earn any chests. So now the bots are going to have to go and rent one of every single card if they're going to play that way, and that's why the rental market's going to explode in theory if the bots aren't buying.
Do they have a way to do that?
There's rental bots that can do that.
That can target specific?
Or they'll just do that, right?
Or auto bids on peak monsters.
Yeah, or just auto bids on peak monsters to get, and you know what? Each bot might only do it for like a team or two and then set their bots just to play those teams. The daily focus. But, the one thing, though, is you used to be able to kind of do that with a bot and just discount the daily quest for just hope you could get it done with like 2 teams. But
is there anything programmed into the bot to target specifically the daily quest, or is it just that it does enough games that you're just like,
It just
does
doesn't
it
know
eventually.
James.
Targets it.
But you can.
Jim says it's programmable.
Ultimate targets it. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, his,
The
So,
one
like-
you use, I guess, doesn't. But
No.
Do
yeah,
you
this one
risk a chance of like now these bots just being like, I'm gonna play this one team all day?
maybe I should switch to your bot, Jim. I might have to talk to you about that because
All right, we'll talk
they're,
after.
they're raising the price of mine, so I don't know if I want to stick with them
Yeah, it
anymore.
doesn't have a good win rate generally, but I guess if you have leveled up cards, it does better.
Because I was
about to say,
curious
mine-
if that was
mine's
programmed.
Mine's pretty good.
Because if
I
that's
mean-
programmed, that is something that we do have to like. I am very curious as the bots are just gonna like rapid fire one team because
Well,
they're
I started
like stuck in a
using
loop.
I started using a rental bot, so I know that there's rental bots that can rent out your cards, and they can rent. So I'm assuming there might be some out there that'll rent cards for you as well.
And
Yeah,
if there
I mean,
not right now, there could be.
Yeah,
I think no matter what, bots are always going to climb and push their margins. You know, they're going to push it to the extreme because they can just keep farming even at really small margins. So if all the rewards get better, then guess what? They're probably going to be willing to rent more, as you said, Steve. So
well, they will definitely, right? Like right off the bat at these prices, why wouldn't you just rent cards and earn more money? Because the rentals
Right.
are so cheap. So the 1,000 bots are going to do that instantly. And then but then 1,000 level 1 cards are going to go off the market, and it's not going to be so cheap anymore.
I think there's a really interesting play though as a human potentially. You know, the original question was, will this get more higher level rented cards out? And now we might actually see more and more people. You already see them push for leaderboards. Well, now maybe you can have a player who's literally all bronze, and it's actually worth it to just rent out 2 gold level decks and start pushing for gold. I mean, that could be a fun way to do it if someone's really going to put the work in.
Yeah, but the pushing, like, that's the weird part is like you push to gold in one season, then that's your stuff all next season. You're basically tying your next 14 days to competing in a league that you
Right.
rented for.
But I'm saying they continually rent. Just keep playing in gold. Like if
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
actually
mean-
worth it as a human, like, hey, I can just jump bronze and silver over all these bots and just know which decks I want to rent for gold. I mean, that's kind of what I used to do back when DEC was so high because you get so much more DEC. So in October, November, it was actually worth it to try a gold rental deck because you could play that one deck for a day, wait for your ECR to come back, and you'd get a pretty big chunk of DEC out of doing that. So that strategy could come back to play. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
If you just wanted to earn some DEC, then you're right. Because if you could make it up into the gold league, and then, especially if you've already been playing for a while and you have a rating, so it's literally just rent the cards, hit the button, be in gold, earn the DEC, and then drop back down. But then that puts your chest at gold tier for the next season. You might not want to do that because gold tier is quite a few more points. So if you're going to be playing in silver all season, you might only earn like 5 chests.
Well,
Right.
that'll be one of the things that I'm trying to calculate here in like the first season is like how many chests am I going to make in silver and how many chests would I make if I still played in silver and went to gold. And like I'm literally looking like because the math on the EV says 50% like or 2x. Like you would get 2x value getting gold chests instead of silver chests. So if I can get better than half as many chests as I'm getting in silver and gold, then it would be worth it for me to go up, right? But that'll be something I have to figure out live. I can't make those assumptions right now.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to tell because all of us are going to be in a situation where you have to play that game with your accounts if you're on the border between. Like if you can't really compete in one of the leagues the whole season, I don't know if you're going to want to go into that league at all because it's like exponentially different how many points you earn for a match in each league. So, like if you can't be in gold by the second or third day, then you probably don't want to go to gold at all.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I think it's going to be fun to theory test. And I'm kind of bummed that I have my job at Balthazar now because I'm like, dang, I'd just be here theory crafting every single day.
One
There's
other
so
note that I
much you
do
could
want
test
to
out.
say real quick is that I believe on the 25th, right? So what is that? Or maybe the 24th, sometime early next week. So like it won't be end of season when all the ghost cards are done. So we're actually going to see that change go into place first next week. When they roll it out, ghost cards will not get rewards before the end of season or before the actual rollout of the new ranked rewards. So it'll be cool to see like what ECRs kind of do at the end of season here, or not ECR, but what DEC like how much DEC you can get in a win if you took out all the starters before the update. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's also going to be at the end of the season though, when typically DEC reward pool is already low, so it might not.
Yeah, you might not see anything.
So if you see a big number, get really excited for the start of the season.
Yeah, right.
Oh man! All right,
good news, guys. My bot hit 2,000 rating. I mean, I legitimately.
You're so good at this game, Jim. We're so impressed with you.
I started at 800 elo today.
Wow, really? What's its win rate?
I don't know.
What's its CCR right now?
It's low. So
well, I have it capped to where it doesn't go below 70%.
Okay,
so it's just every single day I let it run for a little bit.
There you go.
You just set it out in the yard and say, "All right, buddy, go."
Go play.
Go play. Be in for dinner. Don't get too tired.
Oh man! All right. Well, good talks tonight. Lots to talk about. I'm sure as we, I guess by next podcast we won't get the live changes. It's gonna be 2 away, so that's a bit of a bummer. We're 10 days out from the reward changes, but they're soon. There is hope, and I'm excited. I think we're all excited. So there's obviously, I think. Lastly, I would bring up, just as the team says, with all these changes, I don't expect them to be perfect right away, but I love the direction of it. And I think 2 to 3 months, if you give them time, they're going to get to the results that we want to see. So even if it's not right away, it's like, okay, we can be patient.
The one thing I could say is that the ECR per win might look a little low for the end game goals. I think if nobody is getting to like over 100 chests, they might need to adjust that. But we need to play a season or two and see how it goes.
Yep. So we'll see how all those changes here in a couple of days, or I guess a couple of weeks rather. So let's wrap it on up. You guys want to shout out anything about yourself, about your life, about your channel? Go ahead. We'll start with the Mr. H&H, financialadviceonly.com.
Oh, hey guys. Speaking of that, we actually, over at Hobbies and Happiness on YouTube, we are about to hit 1,000 subscribers and do a little giveaway for anyone who's interested in board game accessories or even actually a board game. We don't know what we're getting rid of yet. So, you guys can follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram as well, at Jim Morgan H&H. And then Hobbies and Happiness is my main YouTube channel. So if you guys are interested in board gaming.
I gave you one more. Sorry, I just realized I wasn't subscribed yet.
I
apologize. I apologize.
We're gonna get you there right now.
I as you were talking, I'm like, I never see Jim in my feed. So
and maybe one day we'll play the Splinterlands board game. We'll have the RPG. Who knows? Maybe I could even assist with making some characters in their RPG. Who knows?
I'd be down.
We'll talk.
I'd totally be. I'd be a rogue if you DM. I'd be your rogue, bro.
That makes sense, rogue.
Speaking of rogue, anything you want to shout out this week?
Yeah. Make sure you guys follow Steve R. Peak D, follow him on YouTube, get in his Discord, do everything for Steve, because Steve is the best. All right, I only do Splinterlands TV every Monday night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, I'm just chill, bouncing around, talking Splinterlands. So follow Steve.
All right. Well, Steve, where can they follow you?
So mainly I'm over on YouTube. I have my SteveR82 channel. I just filmed the new episode for the Gold Steve series. That $150 account, little spoiler, $200 worth of cords, $50 worth of hives. So still in profit, even with the crazy down market. It was better to be playing Splinterlands and playing with crypto, apparently. And then, for the person who wants to know how to get $20 20 packs from me, be a content creator, come on the show, and you usually get gifts from me because, I want to encourage everybody to spread the word of the game. And that's one of the reasons why I give these guys stuff. And, makes them continue to do the work, continue to play the game, it actually puts money back in my own pocket a little bit. So
At this point, I've gotten land, 500 SPS, and 20 Chaos Legion packs.
Did you check the chat, Rogue?
No, I didn't. What did I miss?
I'll
Sorry.
let you discover that.
All right, gotta go find it.
and then
Yeah.
there is a chance I will be joining Splinterlands TV on Wednesday night. I did finally have my
Yeah,
interview,
buddy.
so hopefully they accept me, but I don't know for sure how, that they're going to offer me that spot I asked for.
I'm sure they will. They have to. Come on.
You will go tell them that.
I will. I'll tell Ron personally. I'll be like, Ron, Mom, you got to get Steve on there. Come on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, good point, Steve. If you are a content creator, if you want to come on the show, I mean, it doesn't matter the size of your channel as long as you got a mic and a little camera. I mean, I guess you don't even need a camera technically. Crypt Managers come on without a camera, so as long as you got a mic, that works. And we'll get you on here and rotate you guys in. But thanks, Steve, for the gift. Maybe we'll do a little giveaway stream with a couple of them and open them up later on. I don't have time to do so tonight. But yeah, thank you guys for all watching and chilling out here with these lovely guests. If you want to subscribe, if you haven't already, you can also see more of my content is actually now with Balthazar, but this channel is all Splinterlands all day. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Take care, everyone.